October 2025. Florida. Amazon cutting 14,000 corporate jobs. Meta laid off 3,600 employees. Microsoft slashed thousands. Google trimming hundreds. And across Florida, tech workers who relocated for the next Silicon Valley dream are now getting termination emails. Governor Ron DeSantis spent years bragging about luring tech companies to Miami and Tampa, called it freedom over California's regulations, promised prosperity. But now, as 182,963 tech workers nationwide lost jobs in 2025, Florida's transplants are getting crushed, and DeSantis has gone completely silent. This is how Florida's tech boom became a mass layoff crisis, and why the workers who believe the hype are now scrambling to survive. The hype that sold the dream. DeSantis spent years selling Florida as tech's promised land, no state income tax, lower cost of living, freedom from California regulations. Between 2020 and 2023, major tech companies opened Florida offices. Spotify, Microsoft, Apple, ServiceNow. Hundreds of startups followed. Venture capital hit $4.6 billion in 2024. Miami ranked 5th nationally in VC deals. Tech workers flooded in. Software engineers from San Francisco, product managers from Seattle, data analysts from New York. They sold expensive California homes, bought bigger Tampa houses for half the price, high salaries, low taxes, beach access. The math seemed perfect. Florida created massive tech job growth during the pandemic. Companies hired aggressively. Remote work exploded. DeSantis held press conferences celebrating every office opening, every job created, made tech growth central to his political brand. But here's what nobody said out loud. Most companies weren't moving headquarters to Florida. They opened satellite offices, small teams, regional hubs. Real decision-making still happened in California, Washington, New York. Florida got the satellite workers, not core operations. And when layoffs started, those satellite offices became easy targets. When the bloodletting began, 2022 brought the first warnings. Meta cut 11,000 workers, then 10,000 more in spring 2023. Amazon slashed 18,000. Google cut 12,000. Microsoft trimmed 10,000. Tech was correcting after pandemic overhiring. By 2024, cuts continued. Steady. Companies called it performance management, trimming low performers, flattening management, prioritizing AI over headcount. The language changed, results stayed the same, tech workers losing jobs. Then 2025 accelerated everything. Microsoft cut nearly 6,000 in May, another 9,000 in July, almost 4% of its workforce gone. Meta laid off 3,600 in January, called it raising performance bars. Amazon announced 14,000 corporate role cuts. IBM slashed 8,000 in HR and admin. Google reduced hundreds across Android, Pixel, Chrome teams. The numbers climbed fast. 182,963 tech workers laid off across 626 companies in 2025. That's 579 people losing jobs every single day. Florida workers got hit hard. When companies decided which offices to close, which teams to eliminate, they looked at satellite locations first. Places with smaller operations, newer hires, less institutional knowledge. Florida fit perfectly. 3 workers who lost everything. Jason moved from San Jose to Tampa in 2022. Senior software engineer at a major cloud company. Sold his $950,000 California house. Bought a Tampa home for $485,000. Thought he'd won the lottery. Same salary, half the housing cost. No state income tax. His take-home pay jumped 9%. Then July 2025 hit. His manager scheduled a surprise Zoom call. 5 minutes. Your position has been eliminated. Effective immediately. Jason had been at the company 8 years. Strong performance reviews. Didn't matter. His entire Tampa team got cut. 47 people. The California headquarters team, untouched. He's now been job hunting for 4 months. Applied to 186 positions. Got 3 interviews. No offers. His mortgage is $3,200 monthly with insurance and taxes. His severance runs out in February, and he owes $465,000 on a house now worth $440,000. He's underwater, can't sell, can't afford to stay, trapped. Maria relocated from New York to Miami in 2021, product manager at a fintech startup that raised $50 million. The company promised rapid growth, stock options, career advancement. She took a slight pay cut, $145,000 instead of $160,000. But no New York taxes made up the difference. She bought a Brickell condo for $520,000. March 2025. The company announced Series B funding fell through. Massive layoffs followed. Maria's entire Miami office shut down. 23 people gone overnight. The New York team stayed operational. She got 8 weeks severance. That was 6 months ago. She's burned through savings. Her condo HOA fees jumped from $650 to $1,200 monthly after new regulations. She's 3 months behind on payments. Foreclosure notice arrived last week. Then there's David and Rachel, married couple, both software engineers. Relocated from Seattle to Orlando in 2023, working for different tech companies. Combined income $310,000. They bought a $675,000 house. 6-year-old twins, perfect life. August 2025. David got laid off. His company cut 4,000 workers globally. His Orlando office eliminated completely. September 2025. Rachel's company announced restructuring. Her role eliminated, both unemployed within 5 weeks. Combined severance gives them 6 months. They're job hunting aggressively, but Orlando's tech scene can't absorb this many laid-off workers. Competition is brutal, salaries are lower, and nobody's hiring aggressively anymore. Their mortgage, insurance, and property taxes run $4,800 monthly. They have 2 kids, healthcare costs, car payments. They'll burn through severance by March, and if they don't find jobs soon, they'll lose everything. When DeSantis finally noticed. For months, DeSantis ignored the layoffs, kept celebrating tech company announcements, office openings, funding rounds, but by September 2025, the layoffs became impossible to ignore. Local news started covering displaced tech workers. LinkedIn posts about Florida job losses went viral, and economists started questioning whether Florida's tech boom was real or manufactured. DeSantis held a press conference in Tampa, surrounded by economic development officials. He blamed national economic headwinds, said Florida's tech sector remained strong, that layoffs were temporary adjustments, that companies were still investing in Florida, but he offered 0 solutions. No job retraining programs, no extended unemployment benefits, no incentives for companies to keep Florida workers. Just talking points about freedom and low taxes. Critics hammered him. State Representative Anna Escamani said DeSantis sold Floridians a tech dream that was never real, that he prioritized headlines over sustainable job creation, that workers who relocated for Florida's opportunity were now abandoned. She called for emergency job placement programs, expanded unemployment insurance, mortgage assistance for displaced workers. DeSantis dismissed it as Democrat pandering. Jeff Brandes, former Republican state senator, was more measured but equally critical. He said Florida attracted satellite offices, not headquarters, and satellite offices are always the first cut during downturns. That DeSantis should have known this, should have been honest about the risks, should have prepared workers for this possibility. But DeSantis doubled down, said Florida's tech sector would emerge stronger, that laid off workers would find new opportunities, that the state's business climate remained unmatched. He offered 0 evidence, 0 data, 0 plans, just confidence that the market would fix itself. The ripple effect destroying everything. Tech layoffs don't happen in isolation. They destroy entire ecosystems. When high-paid tech workers lose jobs, they stop spending. Restaurants lose customers. Retail stores see sales drop. Service businesses collapse. Real estate markets crash. Tampa's downtown restaurants already felt it. Multiple high-end spots reported revenue down 20 to 30%. Miami's Brickell district, packed with tech workers, saw similar declines. Coffee shops, lunch spots, happy hour bars, all losing their core customers. Some closed. Others cut staff and hours. Landlords started panicking. Tech workers rented luxury apartments, paid $3,000 to $5,000 monthly. When layoffs hit, those workers broke leases, moved in with family, left Florida entirely. Luxury apartment vacancy rates jumped. Landlords offered 2 months free rent, waived deposits, desperate to fill units. The housing market absorbed the shock too. Laid off tech workers who bought during the boom couldn't afford mortgages anymore. They listed homes quickly, flooded inventory, drove prices down, created competition with existing sellers already struggling. The market didn't need more supply, but it got it anyway. Commercial real estate took the hardest hit. Tech companies that signed 5- and 10-year office leases started breaking them, paying penalties to exit early, subletting space they'd never use. Office vacancy rates in Miami and Tampa climbed. Landlords slashed rents trying to attract new tenants, but new tenants weren't coming. The tech boom that filled those buildings was over. Local governments felt the pain too. Tech workers paid significant income. Wait, no income tax in Florida, but they paid property taxes on expensive homes, sales taxes on high spending. When they left, that revenue disappeared. Cities counting on tech-driven growth suddenly faced budget shortfalls. The workers leaving Florida. Sarah, laid off from a Miami tech company in June, already left, moved back to California, took a $30,000 pay cut for a new job in San Diego. But California has job density, opportunities, a real tech ecosystem. She said staying in Florida felt like career suicide, that Miami's tech scene couldn't support displaced workers, that everyone she knew was either job hunting desperately or planning to leave. Marcus left for Austin. His wife stayed employed, but they saw the writing on the wall. One income couldn't sustain their Tampa lifestyle. Austin offered better job prospects, stronger tech community. They sold their house at a $40,000 loss, took the hit, moved, said it was worth it to escape Florida's collapsing tech market. LinkedIn data started showing the trend. Tech workers listing Florida locations in their profiles began dropping. People updating locations to California, New York, Texas. The reverse migration was happening quietly. No headlines, no press releases, just workers leaving, realizing Florida's tech dream was temporary, unsustainable, a political narrative that couldn't survive economic reality. The bottom line, nobody wants to admit. December 2025. Florida's tech sector faces a reckoning. Major companies still maintain offices here, but they're smaller, quieter, less ambitious. The aggressive expansion stopped, the hiring frenzy ended. What remains is a scaled-back presence, enough to say they have a Florida footprint, not enough to drive real economic impact. DeSantis keeps celebrating venture capital numbers, company announcements, office openings, but he ignores the layoffs, the departures, the workers who believed his pitch and got burned. He built a political brand on Florida's tech boom, and now that boom is collapsing, he has no plan, no solution, no acknowledgement that maybe, just maybe, he oversold what Florida could deliver. The workers who relocated are learning a hard lesson. Satellite offices get cut first. Tech booms built on hype collapse fast. And politicians who promise paradise rarely deliver. They're job hunting, burning savings, facing foreclosure, leaving Florida, and wondering why they ever believed the dream. This is how Florida's governor panicked after tech firms announced massive layoffs. Not because he cared about workers, but because the layoffs exposed his tech boom as hollow. Marketing over substance, headlines over sustainability. And now, as workers scatter and companies retreat, Florida's next Silicon Valley dream is dying. Fast! If this opened your eyes to Florida's tech collapse, hit subscribe. More economic failures, More political hype exposed. More workers crushed by false promises. They're all coming, and you'll want to see what happens next.